Seen these terrible pictures and heard the horrible screams behind them, but how much have you really thought about them?
Just how astonishing and rare they really are. Before dawn, Fort Bragg, North Carolina, one soldier in the 82nd Airborne opening fire on a group that should be his friends.
Friends, fellow members of the 82nd Airborne. They take an oath to protect each other. Yeah, this is astonishing.
When the smoke cleared, one soldier dead, 20 soldiers wounded, one soldier arrested.
It is 11 o'clock. I'm Dean Phillips.
And I'm Art Edwards, and this is NCN Nonstop News at 11 o'clock. Sergeant William Krutzer arrested almost immediately. What sparked the rage behind today's attack is still hazy, but listen up.
You see, we found out tonight there is a chance this deadly shooting could have been avoided. Dallas Woodhouse has the story.
Art and Dean, sources tell me that as late as last night, William Krutzer indicated to members of his unit that he was upset. Very upset about a recent inspection which he had failed. Also tonight, I am told that another member of his unit was told by him that if he did not show up, we're talking about Krutzer, if he did not show up for physical training testing this morning, that his friend better not either. Now, we believe that Krutzer came here and set up behind me this morning to settle the score, to get even with his commanders. But somebody threw a kink in the whole plan. For whatever reason, this morning, the transformation, the formation of the troops had been turned around, putting the leaders at the back instead of the front, where we couldn't get to them. So what do we know about William Krutzer? Well, this is what we know. He's a 26-year-old sergeant from the D.C. area. He is a member of the A Company of the 4th Battalion of the 325th Air Infantry Regiment. We know he was a weapons squad leader. We also know tonight that he was kicked out of Corps LRS, which stands for Long Range Surveillance. And I have reason to believe tonight that he was also getting ready to get kicked out of this unit. So what do the soldiers say? Well, they just simply couldn't believe it. The early morning pictures of ambulances taking their friends, their comrades away, and this car that was driven to this scene so that this sniper could set up and fire at him on this range. To them, it just didn't make any sense.
You got an individual who all of a sudden decides that he wants to take out his frustrations on innocent people. You know, those people that he hurt and injured and killed, those people have wives and families, and what they're doing is their job. They didn't do that to probably hurt him or incite him to do anything. He just decided to do that on his own, and yeah, that hurts.
We have even been told tonight that the whole reason he did it was because God told him to. So a lot of conflicting information. We're bringing it to you as it comes available. We probably won't know more until he decides to speak and investigators let us know. But that's the situation here at Fort Bragg.
Thank you, Dallas. My friend, you've had a very long day. An obvious question, just where is Sergeant William Krutzer being held on this night? We have learned he is being held somewhere in Cumberland County.
Now, the heartbreaking part of this story tonight, a family without a father.
Nola Woods talked with the wife of Major Stephen Badger.
Well, Art and Dean, obviously it is very somber here tonight at Fort Bragg, so I could only imagine what it would be like to try to go to Stephen Badger's home. And honestly, I really dreaded having to go talk to his widow, but I was completely amazed at the woman I found there.
Diane Badger says her husband was strong and brave. After all, he was in the Army for 11 years. Well, it must have rubbed off on her as she talked with reporters about Stephen's death.
This morning about 8 o'clock, Colonel Kerrigan called me and said there'd been a shooting and that Steve had been shot. And at the time, he didn't know the extent. He thought that it was just minor.
Diane says they were newlyweds, only married 2.5 years, but 8 children between them. And tonight, well, all 8 of them are missing their 38-year-old dad.
Dedicated, loving, caring, a wonderful husband, just a super dad. As far as his work goes, he loved his men, loved the people he worked with. It wasn't a job, it was a calling.
And a tragic irony, Diane had a son, Robbie. He was killed 4 years ago in an Army training accident. Today would have been his birthday. Art and Dean.
Thanks, Nola. Army services for Major Badger are scheduled for Monday.